I gotta ask, what are the black and BIPOC women thinking about Uncle Shay Shay? I think Auntie Monique tried to let them know.
Better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my
Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old.
What do the black women and BIPOC women think about this? I'm curious, because Monique tried to tell her. I mean, she tried to tell her. But just like with all truth tellers, all wisdom sharers, folks don't get it till it's too late. But I'm curious. Maybe we should talk about it on Nights with Nikki. I think that's a good way to get back to that Nights with Nikki energy. Talking about all the crazy shit happening in entertainment. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Actually, the word is say. Hi, people. Hello, 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 hello. And welcome to, this is my first time back. So shout out to everybody who decided to come and hang out with your girl on this here episode of Nights with Nikki. It has been a minute since I've been out here in these YouTube streets, and I just want to say thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me. For those of you who did bop in, I appreciate you. I hope that life has been treating you well. I hope that, let me see, y'all know it's been a minute because I ain't even got my chair situated yet. Shout out to the Detroit, all things Detroit. I actually got this t-shirt. It is, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but it's Detroit and the Irish logo. Here is on this side. Fun fact, my great-grandfather was an Irishman. So that's the reason I got the shirt. And I am rocking it with Irish pride. That's probably also the reason why I'm such a fighter, They call them the Fighting Irish for a reason, I believe. So between my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother. My great-grandfather was Irish and my great-grandmother was Blackfoot Indian. So, and then I have Indian on on both grandparents' sides. But anyway, this is not an ancestry lesson. Thank you guys for all of your condolences and all of your prayers for my little sister and for my family. They do not go unnoticed. I receive them wholeheartedly. I really, really appreciate it, y'all. I really appreciate it. It took a minute for me to get back into the swing of things. In fact, that's what took so long tonight. We were actually supposed to have the show around 9:30. I was waiting for Funky Dineva to wrap up his thing. Ooh, did y'all see Funky Dineva's show? Oh my God, he went in. What they say, go in and let have. Please. Funky Dineva went in and let have tonight. I absolutely love his show. I love all the new media folks out there. And tonight, oh my God, Miss Thing, there is no guest list tonight. Speaking of all of the leaders in this new media game, the whole world is talking about Mr. Shannon Sharpe. NFL Hall of Famer and ESPN analyst Shannon Sharpe is currently embroiled in a $50 million civil lawsuit filed by a woman identified as Jane Doe. The lawsuit alleges that multiple instances of sexual assault and battery during their relationship occurred, including non-consensual acts and unauthorized recordings of intimate encounters. Sharpe has denied the allegations, labeling them as a shakedown, and has temporarily stepped away from his ESPN duties to focus on legal proceedings. Okay then, Shay. They say the streets gotta eat. Hey, and from the looks of things, our brother Shannon Sharpe is on the menu, and baby, it's a meal fit for a king. Now let me start by saying this is all alleged, but the streets are talking, And some of the messages and videos coming to light had people really clutching their pearls and wondering what the hell is going on with Shannon Sharpe. Is this the fall of a kingdom? Do you guys think that it's over for Shay Shay? Now, I have my own opinion about it, but I would love to hear what the folks in the chat got to say. Hey, Kiana Marsh. Hey, Candace. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys, listen, this is a big story, especially considering the fact that Shannon was that guy, right? He was the king of new media. He was dominating. He had undisputed, what is it? Nightcap. Matter of fact, I think he's live on his channel right now. And that's my question. Is this really going to affect his bag like that? I know a lot of people believe that, but is this really going to break Shannon Sharpe all the way down? All right. Some of the messages and videos, like I said, have been crazy. And it's really mind blowing to watch this happen, right? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, this caught me off guard. I did not. When you talk about media personalities out here in these streets that are doing crazy sugar honey iced tea, I just didn't have Shannon Sharpe on my bingo card. I just did not. I didn't think Shannon Sharpe was the one that we were going to be talking about as it relates to this kind of behavior. But it turns out we're here. All right. And this really does feel like the truest definition of never judge a book by its cover. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot. Monique did warn him. I did share that clip, but I want to share this Funky Dineva clip with you guys. I think, I'm getting back into my YouTube swag, so I think this is fair use. I'm only going to show a little bit of it. I'm showing my screen. I haven't done this either, y'all. I'm trying new tricks out here in these YouTube streets. So, please bear with your girls. I got a lot going on, so I want y'all to give me a pass. But yeah, let me see here. I think I got this thing loaded up right. If y'all see some TNA or something like that on my desktop, then just close your eyes and act like Auntie didn't show it to you. All right, here we go. I think we're good. All right, let me see if I can play this, y'all. Let me see. Here we go. I love Funky Dineva, and he has a really valid point here. Check it out.
I'm so mad. Men and women alike who are out there saying, oh, she was legal. Oh, she was legal. This is 9,000% why when you 56, you don't mess with nothing below the age of 37. Despite the fact that she was legal, she was a child. And she played childish games. And now you have been caught up in her childish games. And now you have to walk away from ESPN. I am pretty sure the ink has not dried on your $100 million contract. I'm sure that deal is in limbo. I'm sure your Pringles commercial, your Chevron gas commercial, your Palm Olive laundry detergent, dish detergent commercial is in jeopardy. All of that is in jeopardy. Oh, she's legal. He didn't do nothing wrong. Oh. Okay, girl. Okay. If he didn't do nothing wrong, then why is the universe negatively rewarding him? If he did not do anything wrong, then why is the universe snatching away his fortune, his riches, and his good name? Bitch, I'll wait.
Woo! Baby. Oh, wait, I think I got to stop this. Hold on. He's still going. Hold on. I told y'all to give me. Okay. So, first of all, like I said, I made it very clear. I love me some Funky Dineva. I think he's one of the smartest and most straightforward, honest people on these here internet streets. Do they still call it Beyonce's internet? I guess Beyonce's internet. But yeah, so that's a good question. And it's a question that I think a lot of people have. It's definitely a question that I have. Okay. Now let's have a real conversation. How does a man who overcame so much in his life and his career, who survived the NFL, built a new career, became a household name again, risk it all for a 19-year-old OnlyFans model? I mean, let me be clear. It's not about her. This is about power. This is about entitlement, and this is about not listening to the women who care and only hearing the ones who do not. Monique tried to warn the brother. Monique tried to tell him. Monique tried to tell him. Monique tried to tell him. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, hey, Sora, I see you. For whatever reason, it didn't resonate with him. It did not resonate with him. Now, if these allegations are indeed true, then because we don't know everything, right? And things come out all the time, and we find out that, maybe it wasn't. I mean, look at the situation with Jay-Z, which was kind of weird to me when he brought Jay-Z into the conversation, right? I get it. I get maybe what he was trying to do was to just, invalidate the attorney who's coming after him. But like, Jay-Z ain't got nothing to do with these issues that you got right here. You feel me? This is all Shay. And again, we don't know everything, but, if he did this and the way it's looking and from based on what I'm hearing and based on what I'm seeing, I don't know. Now I understand kind of loud and clear what people mean when they say, when they say your lawyers don't want you talking about cases that are pending or current, right? Now, I typically think that if you don't have anything to hide and if you're telling the truth, you can just tell the truth, right? Tell the truth, shame the devil is what they say. But in this instance, I don't know that speaking out and sharing information has really served him well, just because it's a lot of, stuff that, maybe we shouldn't know because it gives us a position to really judge him in a way that's like, hold on, y'all was talking about what? She wants you to put a big black wood in a big, it's just too much. And I feel sad about that. I really do, because, not to make the excuse. I'm definitely not trying to turn this into everybody trying to take down the black man, because at the end of the day, Monique tried to warn him. I'm sure there are other people in his life who cared about him who tried to warn him, and he made his decisions. What they used to say back in the day, you made your bed, now you got to lay in it. And more important than anything, I want to be clear, as a person who advocates, and the irony that April, I just thought about this. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I don't know if I could say that on YouTube too loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and it is definitely shocking to hear this, but at the end of the day, no means no. It doesn't matter how many times you have been intimate with somebody. If a person decides that they ain't trying to do it with you at this moment, then you have to honor that, and you have to step away, and you have to leave it alone. And apparently, there's some kind of role play stuff going on allegedly, and some kind of like, I don't know if it's like a whole, I don't know. I wasn't there. I haven't read the legal paperwork. But the algorithm is talking about Shannon Sharpe. So guess who else talking about him tonight? She is. We are on WIRF.tv. Speaking of which, you guys, please do me a favor and hit the like button. I'm getting right back into the swing of things here. We will have more flushed out shows. Y'all, we got some new equipment. We got some new things. We're going to be busting out on y'all asses real soon. But, bear with us, because as you all know, it's been a ride, and, a bumpy one nonetheless. Nonetheless, I'm sorry. But if these allegations are true, and again, we don't know everything, he has to be held accountable, because like I said, no means no. And, even if you've been there before, whether it's a stranger or a person that you know very well, boundaries are not optional. So I think, if you have people around you that are intelligent enough to interpret Me Too times up and all of that stuff that happened right there, then somebody should be telling you that you've gotten yourself into a world of trouble. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I want to share, I shared on my TikTok. Yes, I'm ticking and talking. I always thought TikTok was for like teenagers, but it's a lot of grown people, and it's a lot of black women with a whole lot to say. So I want to share some of the comments. I asked what Black and BIPOC, Black Indigenous people of color, thought about this Shannon Sharpe situation. And we're not going to make this a long live, you guys. I might talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. But I just had it, like I said, we getting back to work, and right now work says that we're talking about Shannon Sharpe. So please make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Oh, all right. Dorinda says, I think he has low self-esteem, and due to his need for control and dominance, he thought he could manipulate a young white woman to fuel his ego. Ooh. I know Dorinda to be a very smart woman, and she is probably pretty spot on with that. In fact, a lot of other people responded to that, said the same thing. Is this a way of him fueling his ego by dealing? I mean, because who does that with it? And it really is not even about race, right? Because I just told y'all my great grandfather's Irish and my great grandmother is an Indian woman. Don't get it twisted. It's melanin all up and through there. You know what I'm saying? Daddy black as tar. No, he ain't that black, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that he would go with someone so young. Not this ain't about the race card. And I know, listen, I know, ladies, I know, right? Folks like to play in the snow. Then it get real cold and they freeze their asses off and they want to come to the big black woman, like Monique said, for a little warmth and a good meal and a nice cocktail. But it's a little late for that, right? And ladies, we have to really be, we have to stand on business when it comes to bailing niggas out that wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. Someone, Ann said it's sad to watch, but so what? Lady said we minding our business. Tiffany said, I'm sorry, but I can't relate. Baby, we sleep. This is not our battle to fight. White women are his preference. Now he can deal with it. Again, I don't agree with the racial stuff. Just because love is love, you can love whoever the hell you want to love. But yeah, I feel what y'all saying. It's like I said, you play in the snow, you get the freeze, and then you won't come to a black woman to warm up. Nope, we're not here for it. So T has a different perspective. She said, still his business. She was grown. Not gonna bash him. He's a freak. That's not a crime. We need to focus on important matters. Well, okay, let's talk about that. I got time today. Kiana, I'm going to get into your comment as well. She says, still his business. She was grown, not going to bash him. He's a freak. Okay. So again, getting into people's bedrooms is really not my thing because I damn sure don't want nobody in mine. But this is more than just him being a freak. The woman is accusing the man of the R word. That is the point of this conversation. It's not just about him wanting, them having role play and choking each other out and shit like that. This is a very serious accusation. And what's really interesting is I know that, there was this law that was recently passed. I need some tissue, y'all. Hold on for 1 second. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. Oh, shit. I don't have no tissue. Oh, well. Hopefully I don't, All right. This is bigger. This is much bigger than just him having a fetish, right? Because people's fetishes are their business. He is being accused of SA. And no matter what color you are, no matter how old you are, no matter what the situation is, no means no. And Shannon Sharpe is 56 years old, allegedly. So he should be very clear on what no means. And listen, it's a lot of people out here in this mansphere. I've been looking at a lot of videos. I've been seeing a lot of stuff out here. Make sure y'all hit like and subscribe. I know I got 3 followers and 2 people on the live, but I'm going to need y'all to go on ahead and hit that like button so your girl can come up in the world. Oh, and let me say this real quick. Thank you to all of the beautiful people who subscribe to WIRF.TV, Women in Reality Film, TV, and Music. We're trying to do something a little different over here. We're trying to give y'all a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We'll find our rhythm. We'll find our audience. But I just thank you guys for hitting the subscribe button and the like button. Let's break this up a little bit. Kiana says, sadly, we live in cancel culture. As soon as we hear stuff, we run with it. Also, there's a lack of accountability, and everybody is fighting some kind of battle. Prayerfully, he can get whatever he needs. Okay, let me talk about that a little bit. Let me talk about that. Hold on. You know, your girl got. Listen, I ain't all the way healed from the trauma that I've been experiencing, but I'm healed enough to I'm gonna get into some of these Instagram comments too, because y'all off the chain. But I'm healed enough to go in just a little bit. So Kiana says, I feel you. I understand what you're saying. And listen, when I first heard this, I'm not even gonna hold y'all up. When I first heard this, my husband and I were sitting at the counter, and he was like, "Yo, Shannon," but first thing that popped into my mind is, she lining him up. It's paper chase. She trying to get his money. Black man doing good. He had all these interviews. They can't let him. You know, I sang that song too. I had a lot of doubt about the validity of these claims, right? I just was like, I ain't going for it. Not Shay, not Shannon. And I still don't know for sure. None of us know, because this thing just came out. I don't even think it's been a full 72 hours yet since we heard about it. Maybe it has, just barely. So you do have to be careful about assuming shit, right? You know what they say about assumptions. It's like assholes. We all got one. And the part about everybody fighting a battle, you're absolutely right, Kiana. We are all fighting a battle. God knows I know about that. But we can't let the seriousness of the accusations and the fact that Shannon has released information on his own, like he's put out stuff that we didn't ask to see, that doesn't look so good for him, right? And yeah, there's always the concept of they trying to take a black man down. I mean, when you think about it, Cosby and so many successful entertainers. You look at the R. Kelly and you look at the Diddy and you look at the, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, all of this wealth that has been amassed by these black men, and they getting, their asses handed to them. Yeah, two things can be true. It could be sad to see the destruction of a really successful person, especially in a community where we don't have that many examples of really successful people like that. But it is also true that it's a lot of folks out here in the street doing dirt and doing things that they should not be doing, and disrespecting women and disrespecting, the community as a whole. I mean, this doesn't just negatively impact women. This impacts every young man who was looking at Shannon or Diddy or this one or that one, and like, hey, when I grow up, I want to be dope just like this brother. I want to be successful just like this brother. It's a very serious thing to be accused of, and it's terrible and egregious and awful. And it should be, if he did it, he should be held accountable for it. And we can't give him the whole, and that's where we got it as black women. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please. Thank you. As black women, that's where we got to really check ourselves, right? We really got to check ourselves on that, wanting to come to the aid of our brothers who are being accused of really terrible things out here in these entertainment and media streets. Because, it'd be crickets when we go through some shit. And then Monique tried to tell him. And then from what I understand, Kat tried to tell him. And, you can kind of tell that Shannon has a type and he has a vibe that he's into. And here's a question, right? If he's not, let's say, hypothetically speaking, because I don't know for sure, if he's not really attracted to black women, if he don't really get down with black women like that, and I don't know that to be true, right? Somebody actually posted I think an AI picture of him and Tracy Ellis Ross, and I was like, oh, this is cute. That ain't my business, but it was a cute picture, and I was like, it would be great to have seen him with, a equally as successful, dope ass, woman of color, BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, person of color. Same way, I was looking at something recently, And some of y'all might be, seasoned enough and vintage enough to remember Kanye West's girlfriend. I can't remember her name, but she was absolutely beautiful. I think she was in the creative space somehow, really, really pretty. And I think his mom really liked her a lot, right? And this is no shade to, any of the women he's dating now. I wasn't there. I don't know them. I'm not judging them. But it does make you wonder if Kanye and certain other people, if these problems would not exist if they were with people who had more in common with their mama and their sister and their cousin and their auntie and they, you know what I mean? And there's something to be said about being able to relate to the men in our communities, right? Again, so many people I love and care about, my best friend, my daughter, so many people, both my daughters, my husband's daughter, my daughter, so many people I know are biracial, my sister, you know what I mean? So I'm not suggesting that we limit ourselves to only dating and only falling in love with people who are of the same race and background, right? I think that's shallow and crazy. But I do think that there is something to be said about, you know, having relationships with people who understand and can relate at a different level, right? And yeah, I think, we want to believe that Shannon Sharpe didn't do this. I want to believe he didn't do this. I want to believe that it's a setup. You know, understand? But I don't necessarily know that that's true. All right, let me get into some of my commentary on Instagram, because Insta was kind of going in too. Somebody said, "Hey, Funky Dineva said, I don't feel no ways tired." Okay, Girls Night Out TV says Shannon got exactly what he deserved, craved, lusted after, preferred, and wanted. Okay, Passion IO says Monique and Cat Williams warned him when they were on his show. Monique warned him about the young ones, and Kat warned him about the other ones. Okay, here's Jordan. I'm trying to find some that are more neutral, because this is I think that's somebody else's tagline, but we like to be objective here. Folks like him don't want women that look like his grandma. I just said this, I promise. So there's nothing to say. Let the male community say, okay, y'all go in there. Let me try to see if I can find. Yeah, you listen. Let me try to find. Okay, Kiana might have said something else here, because I like to be objective about it. She said, wholeheartedly agree. The point that I was making is that we can be quick to judge, yet there does need to be accountability, and he should hush and deal with his issues. Great dialogue. Yep. You know what, Kiana? Okay, perfect. Thank you for saying that, and I completely agree with you. We are quick to judge. We are so quick to judge each other. And what's really interesting is that once you get Black people on your back, you don't need nobody else to attack you. You don't need nobody else to break you down, because we're going to do it all ourselves. I tell you, the one thing I could tell you about our community, and I love our community, but I love you so much and I love us so much that I'm going to keep it real. Nobody tears a Black person down like a Black person. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Nobody tears a Black person down like another Black person. And I don't know if it's because, we just have a way with words. I don't know if it's because, it cuts deeper because it's coming from people within our own community and our culture. I just know that, we have a way, and it's really funny because nobody could get under my skin or hurt my feelings or make me cry like my mama or like a member of my family. And I think maybe that's because we love each other so much. I don't know. And that's a real question. Like, do we as a community, are we tools of the incompetent? Are we, do we allow ourselves to be used as weapons against each other, And this isn't just about this Shannon Sharpe thing, because again, like I said, if the man did it, he needs to be held accountable. Let's call it Shannon. Who else? Diddy, Trey Songz, Mystical, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby. As much as I love Breezy, he was involved in a little situation too. The list goes on. And while every case is different, the consequences are eerily similar. Broken legacies, broken families, and broken trust. And I think that's the reason why we go so hard on each other, because we maybe expect a lot more from each other, and if you get there, you need to figure out a way to maintain it and not do the dumb shit, which is what it seems like a lot of people out here in these streets doing. But why does this keep happening? Anybody, please contribute to this dialogue. Why does this keep happening? Ooh, hey, Timogen, how are you, beautiful? It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to be back, y'all. Took me a minute, but this is work. Especially now, it's like everybody and their mama got their YouTube channels popping. I said, I got to catch up. It's been a minute I've been down, but Timogen Scott, my good friend, says money and power are drugs. Absolutely. I agree. Why are so many, and anybody please answer this question, please. And if you're not on the live right now, please answer it in the comment section. If you will. Hold on. I can't see hold on one second, y'all. Just give me a minute. This was a last minute live, and I want to be able to see my chat. I want to be able to see my chat. Please make sure you hit like for me. I would really, really, really appreciate that. Okay, let's get back to this. The question is, why are so many powerful Black men still falling for the same trap? And is it trauma? Is it ego? Is it lack of accountability? You know what I think sometimes, and I could be all wrong for this, and I'm not trying to turn this into that. We'll just call it. But sometimes it feels like, in order to break through, we know that breaking through in this industry, breaking through, YouTube, music, film, TV, all of that stuff, right? It requires a key. I think. I don't think it's all just your content and how compelling you are. I think that there are people out there who have the ability to turn it up for you. I think there are people out there who can make or open up your audience, expand your reach. And I feel like sometimes when the PTBs, powers that be, I don't even know if they're really a real thing, but okay. But the PTBs, it's almost like they have a pretty good idea of who they can put on, because it's like there's a string attached to the carrot. You know what I mean? And the minute one of the people get out of line, they snatch it back. And then you have people who are super talented, who deserve, the opportunity and the platforms. And maybe they aren't, they don't have, all them skeletons and whatnot. And you wonder why those people aren't as successful. You know what I mean? But it's weird, because it's always a situation where you realize, think about it. If you run down the list, it's like nobody knew R. Kelly was doing what R. Kelly was doing. Nobody knew Cosby was doing what allegedly all these people were doing. Nobody knew what Diddy was doing. Nobody knew what this one was doing. Nobody had any idea what any of these people were doing. And still, with all of the alleged behavior that these highly successful Black men have been engaging in, they were still super duper made to be super wealthy and super successful, but they weren't able to hold on to it because snatch that sucker back. Now, I'm not saying that the people around them knew that this was happening. But in some of these instances, you had to have some kind of inclination, some kind of idea that maybe perhaps Shay was up to some no good, or Diddy was up to some no good. And it's like you allow it to happen until you get to the point where it's like, okay, you know what I mean? I don't know. I could be wrong. Timogen says it's ego, money, trauma paired with proclivities and feeling invincible too. What's not healed will be amplified in the public eye and with fame. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's interesting because, there's an old saying that money, please hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button so the algorithm knows that we having real conversations. Now, I know I ain't dragging nobody and dishing too much tea and whatnot, but these are important conversations. So please hit like so YouTube knows that y'all digging this. But back to Timogen's point, that's what money does. That is what money and fame does, is it amplifies who you are. And it gives you more access to people so that you can permeate the community and now it's like, you know, with streaming and I mean, because think about it, Shannon Sharpe saw millions of people a week, like, you know what I mean? So he had a lot of influence and a lot of power. So that feels like it's what it's about. But again, these are allegations and we don't know that it is true. However, it's not looking so good, especially with this ESPN stuff, because, you know, and you know, these people got, like, come on now. I mean, you know, come on. These major corporations, trust me, they click a button, make a phone call, reach out to this person. They watch everything. Me too. Especially trying to take my ass to the Supreme Court, going anyway. But yeah, the private investigators, you know, these folks have a way of finding out what they need to find out. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of times with us in general, and hey, listen, it doesn't always have to be something like SA or, you know, rugging people. You know, I think I can't say certain words on YouTube, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like all the incidents, the parties and all that other stuff. And it doesn't have to be all of that. You know, it could be, people just prey on your weakness. They look for things, they dig, they create things and shit, you know? And, you know, was having this conversation with my husband. I was watching an actress who I absolutely adore her. It's funny because I didn't know her work as an actress, but I was watching her in social media and I just love her energy and I love her direction. And I'm going to say it. So you guys follow her. Lola Bunny, I want to say, I hope I'm saying it right. She's Felicia and Ahmad Rashad's daughter, and she's an actress and she's amazing. And she's on some different energy. And she talked about how she grew up and went to a prestigious school and she learned all these things in the school. And she said, you know, she you know, kind of struggled to keep up with sort of the, you know, her education, you know what I mean? What they were teaching her in this school. And when she found art and music and acting and storytelling, she excelled and she did really well. And she talked about how you'll think that you're not that smart, but your gift is in another space, right? Another place. And she also talked about the industry and she talked about how her perspective on the industry was changing and how she was going to navigate. And I'm paraphrasing. Please go to her page on Instagram. I'll drop it in the comments once I have it. But she talked about how much it had changed and she became disenchanted with it. And I have really come to the same place in my life and in my career. It's like every time you look up, there is a really negative, terrible revelation, you know, expose about somebody. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's sad because a lot of these things are us. They're people of color. You know what I mean? And we fight so hard to get there and we face so many obstacles on the journey that it is really disappointing, you know, and we do have the right to be like, damn, Shannon, damn, like, damn, Diddy, damn, such and such, damn, because it's hard enough to get there. And when you realize that the more we fuck up and blow these opportunities, the more validation we give people who didn't want us to have them in the first place. And it's really sad because we need these opportunities. Like, we are really good at communicating and storytelling. Now, when I say good at communicating, I mean captivating, compelling conversation. We ain't so great at listening and, you know, dialoguing and, you know, being fair about the shit, right? We will overtalk each other, talk about each other, drag each other, shade each other, honey. It's the shade Olympics when it comes to black folks sometimes. But we are good in terms of just compelling, keeping people's attention. My husband and I are going to see Sinners. I can't wait to go see it this weekend because I hear it is amazing, and that is the perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? We are just really good at captivating people and captivating an audience. And Shannon Sharpe was excellent in that space. He did so well as a black man. He had some of the biggest interviews on YouTube, like literally changed what it meant to be like people literally like, yo, I could become like Shay. I could become like Shannon Sharpe. And now it's kind of like, well, damn, and you just don't want to put people in position. Again, this isn't about pandering to others. This is just the cold hard reality of where we stand and who we are as people, black people. We have to work four times as hard, but half as much. These opportunities and these windows are so limited, and there's not a lot of opportunity for us. So it's a huge disappointment when you see someone like Shannon Sharpe, who has basically like built a kingdom. And I was looking at Shannon like, oh, he's clean cut, and he might have a little cocktail here and there, but he's a nice guy and he's whatever. And it really just it's disappointing because it really changed my image and thoughts about him. Not because he was dating a white person, because people date who they want to date. The fact that he was dating a 19-year-old says a lot. We'll just put it there. I mean, I get it. Folks be wanting to get with young and dumb and chew a bubble gum. And I'm not saying the girl was dumb, because clearly she made a huge investment in herself on that OnlyFans channel. And she seems to be the person who is on the winning end of this here situation. So we're not calling her dumb, but young and dumb chewing bubble gum is just, again, it goes back to culturally competent relationships. Because young and dumb chewing bubble gum is not an insult. It is, a way to describe, jailbait. I want to encourage people because, Kiana, you made a really great point when you talked about us judging people too quickly. We do it a lot in our community. We do it a whole lot. And sometimes, it's with good reason. And other times it is our own trauma and our own insecurity talking, right? And I don't want to turn this into this conversation, but one of the things that I learned spending time with my sister, perspective and the words that you use in any situation to describe anything, so important, right? How you see your life, how you see your illness, how you see, your flaws and insecurities. Your perspective is everything, right? And I saw a quote that said, if you stay positive in a negative situation, you win. And I think about my sister Debbie, and I think about what a powerful woman she was, because I don't know that knowing that I have terminal brain cancer or had terminal brain cancer for 18 months, I don't know that I could have had the perspective that my sister had about it, right? I don't know that, she's maybe God has other plans for me, and yeah, I've got cancer, but it sucks. And, she just never made it anybody's problem, not even her own. She's like, this is my journey. And it was crazy to me because I'm like, bitch, you got brain cancer. And she's like, I know. And I'm gonna move away from that because, yeah, we're not about to turn this into that. But my point is just, I want to encourage us as a community to start trying to figure out a way to see a more positive perspective on everything happening in our lives. Like even with this crazy ass Shannon Sharpe shit, right? Because it's crazy. And I'm like, damn, we about to watch. What's the other guy? What's the guy, y'all? What's the guy? I'm getting old. Let me drink some water. Calm down. Hold on. You, Big U. I don't know nothing about none of all that stuff that's going on. I think I met him like some time ago or whatever. But we're about to watch over the next 6 to 9 months. We're about to watch all of these black men go through these trials. And whether or not, they did it, we're going to find that out. But it's just, maybe there is something that we can pull from this that is positive. As crazy as it all sounds. Maybe the positive thing that we can find in all of this is that, we got to figure out who our heroes are and not just put capes on them because they're athletes and because they're rappers and because they are, we gotta maybe redefine what it means to be a hero in our community, what it means to be a heroine in our community, what it means to be someone that people look up to in our communities, right? Maybe this lesson is for us to just really take stock of who and what we deify and what voices we amplify, right? Because listen, Monique, who else? Jaguar. It's so many people. Me, shit. So many people have told you the roof is on fire, and this is like, we don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn, and now it's burning. It's burning. And I asked the question. Matter of fact, let me look at my poll, and then yep, we're gonna keep it under. We're gonna keep it under an hour. But let's see where we are on this poll real quick. Wow. Okay. So my question in my poll on Instagram was, she tried to tell him, talking about Monique and Shannon Sharpe, will there ever come a time when folks listen to truth tellers before the issue gets out of hand? And it's sad to say, 55% of the people have said no. And I don't know what that's about. I can't call it. I can't call it, shout it. I can't call it. I have no idea. I don't know why people don't listen until it's too late. It's interesting. I was having this conversation about Madam C. Dolores Tucker. And for those of you who are mature enough to understand, she tried to tell us where things were headed in hip hop and in the music industry. She tried to tell us in the 90s, and I've said this before on many lives. The response was, wonder why they call you bitch, right? And I love Pac, and I love, just because you criticize people or have an opinion on things that may not necessarily roll in tandem with what folks would want to hear, doesn't mean that you hating on them or you got a problem with them. It does a lot of times mean that you love people and you care enough to be honest and to tell the truth, especially when it's coming from the right place. When some shit got a little twang on it, that's some, you know what I mean? But see, Dolores Tucker tried to tell us. And instead of accepting this from a place of love, just like Monique tried to tell Shannon Sharpe, she told not just us, she went all the way to Capitol Hill. And she's like, listen, the way these lyrics and these songs are portraying people in our community is not good. It's not going to be a good thing. It's not going to end well for nobody. And almost every single rapper who had something to say about Madam C. Dolores Tucker, who was an elder in our community, a smart woman, and had nothing to gain by pointing us in the wrong direction, all of them are struggling or gone or in jail, and she rang the alarm. You know, she said this is not going to end well for our community, and it's part of the reason why and I don't want to turn this on, to me, because y'all are going to read my Supreme Court writ of certiorari in a very short period of time. It would be public for all the world to see. But part of the reason why I fought and I continue to fight, as much as I hate fighting, like people think, you like, what Funky Dineva say, bitch, a hurricane follows you everywhere you go. And it's sad that people feel that way, but I get it. And every bit of 55 July, so I don't really care what people think about my perspective on my life. But it's part of the reason why I fought so hard and continue to fight so hard for ownership, or at least, at the very least, partnership. Excuse me. At the very least, partnership, because if you don't have culturally competent people, and not just culturally competent people, let's call it what it is. We need more women in positions of power in entertainment and media. And I'm saying that not because I'm trying to have this great gender divide, right? I'm not trying, I'm happily married to a strong Black man who don't want shit to do with this industry. And I'm so grateful that God sent me my husband, and he's so grateful that God sent me to him. But there is a space and a place for women in this industry, because I think that we have lived in a world where misogyny and hypermasculine, degrading narratives, bitch, hoe, suck my this, da 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 da. Like we've lived this life for the last 30 years at least. Our parents and our grandparents, that wasn't how they got down. Even if there was like the old school sort of like, you know, how older men used to be back in the day. They was a little slight bit of chauvinism, just here and there, just a sprinkle here and there, because they had this idea that they were taught and raised with, that were, women supposed to be in the kitchen cooking, barefooted, pregnant. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole thing, right? But there was a level of respect for their families. There was a level of respect for their wives. There was a level of respect for their communities that just does not exist today, and it's not just about this manosphere, and I forget the guy's name who was out here talking about high value men and all the other stuff. It's not just that, right? And it's not just on the brothers, because it's a lot of crazy shit going on out here as it relates to women. In fact, I'm still in my healing journey and grieving journey, despite the fact that I'm working tonight, because I can't just cry forever. And don't say nothing about these bags under my eyes and me looking half-assed, because I've been through a lot. But anyway, women, sisters, ladies, we have a huge responsibility to make sure that we are doing the self-work and the self-inventory that we need to, so that brothers ain't looking at us like, because listen, not trying to say at all that you need to change who you are, or you need to, put on makeup every day and dress in a way that is appealing to others. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying having your mind, your body, and your spirit intact and in a good place, and not looking for someone else, but attracting certain energies, right? It is an individual self-work thing that we as a community have to understand. We spend so much time trying to tell other people how to win. Oh, this is how I made my $1 million, or this is how I did this, or this is how I did that. And, it's cool to hear other people's success stories, but I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm not trying to get on too much of a tangent, but this is an important point. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, super smart. Shout out to my girl, Yvonne McNair, one of the dopest marketing people ever, 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 ever. And we were talking about the lessons that you learn in the valley and what you learn when you lose, and the whole concept of losing to win, and so often in our community, we only want to see the success. We only want to show us when we are on that, body, making it happen, space. And we'll talk about when we slept in our car, or we'll talk about when we didn't have no money. But it's so rare that you actually see people coming up out of the mud. You see people coming up out of it. And that's one of the reasons why I try to be transparent in my journey. I know I'm sure it's people who look at my videos and look at my YouTube channel like, this bitch still talking about this P-Valley shit. Yes, I am. Because it's not about ego. It's not about clout. It is about people seeing me or me sharing an authentic experience that isn't so pleasant, that isn't so pulled up. Y'all see me on stage looking cute, hair done, nails done, everything done, right? But it's rare that you see people pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, right? Now, I ain't one of the people like, oh, film me in the hospital. And, you'll see in the Diary of a Diva documentary, the ugly cries, because we documented every part of this journey. And I'm struggling. We were editing. I was looking at footage today like, oh, my God, am I actually going to share this with the world? Yes, because I think there is more to learn and more to contribute to my community and more truths to tell as it relates to this industry, which is so important. In the pain, and Yvonne and I talked about that in the drama, in the trauma, right? I think the more that we, hey Latoya, I see you, sister. Hi. Yes, motivated mom of the year. I won motivated mom of the year. Follow my girl Latoya, please. Dean Dennis, motivated moms. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But yeah, there's so much to learn in our failures, right? And we get so caught up in being concerned about what people think about us. And I've been in this industry for 30 years. I had a record deal with Michael Jackson. I worked with Tyler Perry. I partnered with Queen Latifah on an amazing. I just have produced shows, made history here and there, whatever. And I was always concerned about image. I was always concerned about people, seeing me vulnerable and broken and judging me, right? I learned the hard way that it is in that brokenness, but that willingness to be transparent about it and dedication and commitment to improving your life, that not only I learn what I'm really made of and what I have in real life to offer, what tangible, real, valuable thing I have to offer the world. But also I understand and I'm clear on who the people who really love me for the human being that I am, not the boss speech that I am, not the singer that I am, not the Nikki from Brownstone or from R&B Divas or whatever, just the woman who is imperfect, who makes mistakes, who needs people, who gives to people, that person, and I think that is the reason why we see so many situations like Diddy and Shannon Sharpe and whatever. We see so many of those situations because people are afraid to be authentically who they are for fear that they will be judged. And when you think about it and you deal with the reality, I see you, Justice for Nikki, I'll take it. When you think about it and you see the reality of where we are as a community, there are so many people in our community, so many people that we have just put so much faith in, and we have deified these people, leaders, religious leaders, producers, actors, musicians, folks, and they just regular, everyday people who might have a little bit more money than you, but as you can see, with all of these celebrities and wealthy folks that have had their empires and kingdoms completely snatched out from under them, that shit does not matter. What they say, fame is by accident, money has wings. Or fame is a vapor, popularity is by accident, money has wings. The only thing that lasts is character. And I hope that somebody in Shannon Sharpe's life helps him to understand that. And not just Shannon's life, a lot of folks' life. Please hit the like button on YouTube, please. And if you're watching me on Facebook or you came over from IG, please make sure that you hit like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is how you actively support me. If you want to know how to support me, the way you support me right now in this moment is in going to WIRF.TV YouTube channel, hitting like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want to, which I didn't put it up there, which you should have, our Cash App is $ Fight for Worth. Y'all know I've been saying it for the last 5 years. Fight for Worth. And you can also go to FromTheBottomUpFoundation.org. And we have a initiative called the Artists Creatives Coalition. And please be sure to support in any way that you can. There is a legal defense fund and everything in there. Let me get to these other questions, and then I'm gonna come back tomorrow, you guys. I have to be consistent. That's what my YouTube friends have been telling me. Y'all, I've been in grief. I've been in filing the Supreme Court writ of certiorari pro se, meaning I'm doing this for myself, by myself. Well, not by myself. I have all of y'all and a team of people who really believe in me, but I am acting as my own attorney, which is a Supreme Court petition is already like a ridiculous undertaking. And chances are that you won't get granted the writ. And doing it pro se is like quadruple the chances that you won't. But my faith is greater than that of a mustard seed. And I believe that the truth speaks to the heart and to the minds of people who want to hear it. And I hope that the Supreme Court wants to hear my truth. But anyway, CJE, in a matter of truth and justice involving Black Americans and Africans requiring non-Africans and non-African Americans to communicate using UCC-based sworn affidavits could... Ooh, this sounds... Listen, I would go read that whole thing, but it sounds real professional, and like I don't even know that I would really have a response to that. But please send me a DM and I'll read it, and I'll be here tomorrow. So let's try to unpack that there, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I love you too, CJ. Thank you so much. Love you. I appreciate you. Never give up. I tell others that this is Kiana. I tell others that the betrayal that I endured was a blessing because it got me to my next level. So I try to be as transparent as possible, especially with my babies. The only true failure is the person that fails to try. Amen. 100%. And don't be scared to get a Worth membership. Oh, please don't be scared to get a Worth membership. Please, please, please. And for those of you who don't know, I'm going slightly over an hour. I said I was only going to be an hour. I'm trying not to be long-winded in this new season. For those of you who don't know, the Worth TV app, unfortunately, we didn't shut it down. We have put it on pause just because I have so many financial commitments out here. I mean, here we go talking about being transparent, you guys. Please make sure you follow WIRF.TV, because in the Diary of a Diva docu, which is coming July, the target date is my birthday. Also my book, Nikki versus Goliath, A Fight for Creative Justice and Ownership, is also coming July 8th, which is my 55th birthday. So we're going to be partying in July. Mark your calendars. You can pre-order before that, and I'll send the link. But yeah, you guys might even see me going through the process of filing bankruptcy, just because I unfortunately have to pay, per the judge in Central District of California. It was like 6 figures, but then now they're going to make me pay for the appeal too. So that's like 7 figures. So like millions of dollars that I don't have. And ain't no shame in my game. I don't regret fighting for my intellectual property rights. I believe that, what has happened to me is a denial of due process. How it is possible that, I could be denied the right to go to trial, and expert reports being, having them strike them from the report is unfathomable. I never even knew that was a possibility, but now that it's happened to me, other creatives will know what your journey could be like. Like, every journey is different. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's case is different. But one thing that has been really consistent is that the judicial system has not been what I believe is fair to underfunded plaintiffs and creatives. I think that it is always leaned in the direction of corporations with billions of dollars, and it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me how, an independent creative could be not only denied the right to a trial, but also penalized for asking the question, especially given the fact that I gave my materials to the company in question. Like, if I didn't go and meet with the president of the company, and I didn't leave all my materials with people, and meeting was set up by another lawyer. And if those things didn't happen and the similarities, were there, then that'd be different. But the fact that the similarities are, in my opinion, striking, in my expert's opinion, striking, and I left the materials with the company that actually put this thing on, it's like, come on, how am I being punished because of it? But I'm not afraid of starting over. I'm not afraid of making it happen again from the bottom up. This is my journey. This is my story. And this is my truth. And, as much as it pisses people off that I'm actually fighting for my family's generational wellness and generational wealth opportunities, I don't care. I just don't care. I don't wish any ill will to anybody in this situation. One thing that you realize when you deal with death as many times as I have, and you've lost people that are as important as the people that I have lost, is fearing shit is not really a part of my life. I mean, yeah, there are moments where I'm uneasy about stuff, and I do feel a sense of like head on a swivel and, whatever. Always been that way, always gonna be that way. But my bigger fear is living a life as a coward and living a life where I believe in something, but I did not pursue it because I was afraid to do that. If I was afraid to pursue my career, then I would have never met Michael Jackson. And as a result of meeting Michael Jackson, God has put me in position to help a lot of people, including myself and my family, you know what I mean? And strangers, you know what I mean? A lot of people have been blessed with a lot of opportunities because of what God has put in my head and in my heart, and my willingness to share that gift and those things. So I don't regret any of it. And if that is how I'm remembered, as a person who was just like always fighting for equality and always fighting for justice, hell, I just got a Lifetime Achievement Award from President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, and an honorary doctorate in humanitarianism, which I'm going to have a party and celebrate that in a minute. You feel what I'm saying? At some point, I'm going to celebrate some of these things, some of these landmarks or whatever. But I have another angel, another warrior angel, and my sister Debbie, Maxie, my mom, my dad. And I truly believe that God knows that I am built for whatever the outcome is, you guys. I am built for whatever the outcome is. And I don't know how I got on me. We was talking about Shay. Okay. Because we were talking about the importance of women having a real seat at the table. The importance of women of color being a part of this industry. If you want to save, and I'm going to leave it on that, because this is a really important point. If you want to salvage what is left of this industry, which once upon a time was just we thought it was a really beautiful place, but then when you found out that the wizard was behind the curtain, pulling strings and all the bullshit that was going on, you're like, what the fuck? But remember, let's talk specifically about music and art and Prince and Whitney and Michael and 90s R&B and like all of that. When you think about that moment in time, when you think about that moment when we all really truly believed that the industry was more fair, when we really truly believed that fame and fortune and being able to help your family out and being able to, you know what I'm saying, do what you want in your gift really meant something more than just capitalism for distributors, right? When you really believed in it. If we want to get back to that feeling and how important it is for our community, music and art and creativity is the soundtrack of our lives. We establish so many amazing memories and moments through our gifts. And if we want to get back to a place where that is valued and the world is in more harmony and more unity, you got to put more women, not put more women. You have to stop. Hey, Rose, I see you. Thank you. Yes, doctor. Oh, excuse me. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me take another sip. Wait, hold up. Welcome to Nights with Nikki with your host, Dr. Nikki. This shit sounds so good. But if we want to get back to a place where our communities are restored, we have to stop blocking talented, well-meaning women from having opportunities to fix this shit. Right? We see what happened in this election cycle. I'm not getting into politics. I'm never talking about that shit no more. I just can't do it. I don't have the capacity. But we see what happens when we doubt the abilities of women. That is not to say women are better. It is just to say that women should be treated equally. And if you have more equality, you have more balance. And with more balance, you have a place that is just a whole lot better to live in and exist in and love in. All right, y'all. So again, my closing thoughts on this thing is I'm not here to cancel anybody, including Uncle Shay, but I'm here to challenge us to do better, to protect our sisters and brothers, to build empires that do not crumble the minute a real test hits the community. All right. We need a new code. We need a new culture. We need a new kind of crown. We need new heroes. Let's keep this conversation going. Hit me in the comments and the DMs. Please make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe whenever you feel like speaking your truth. And remember the words of my sister, Monique. I love us for real. Stop ignoring Black women until it's too late. Shannon, she told you. Say what you want to say about Jag. She told you. I told you. So, see, Dolores Tucker done told you. Kamala told you. Everybody, Black women are always telling you. And folks are so hard-headed. But you know what they say? I'm going to leave y'all with this in real life. Hard head makes a soft ass. And at some point, y'all going to start believing fat meat is greasy. So thank y'all for the love. Thank you for the condolences. I'm definitely going to share some of the beautiful moments from my sister's beautiful memorial service. We had 3 days of celebrating Deborah Gilbert. I love you, sister. I love you with my whole heart. Whew, and I miss you so much. And I hope that you guys have a great weekend. I will be back tomorrow night. We're going to try to keep this thing going. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Nice with Nikki is back again. And make sure that you hit like, share, and subscribe. All right. I really appreciate this conversation, you guys. My Facebook family, listen, let me head to holler at y'all real quick. Facebook, y'all gonna stop tripping. All them cousins and aunties and people that I went to school with and all this other stuff out here in these Facebook streets, y'all better go over to that YouTube channel and hit like and share and subscribe. Same thing for you guys over at Twitter, at LinkedIn, and at Instagram. Because yeah, on YouTube now. All right. Have a good night. Thank you guys for tuning in to Nights with Nikki. Again, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.